Welcome back. We ended last session with you making a choice, and I'm going to assume if you're still here or if you're back, that you've chosen the red door and you'd like to learn about relational marketing, also known as referral based marketing, also known as networking. So we're going to have a little fun. And first, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to ask some questions. I'm going to share some insights, and then we will get into the actual nuts and bolts of networking. So, the first thing I would like to ask you is in your business, are you missing out? And one of the things I find is that a lot of entrepreneurs are not having the impact that they want. They're not serving the people they want, and they're not truly helping those that they serve. So, if you're not doing those three things, one of the best ways to fix that is through networking and referral based marketing. So, I'm going to share a new reality. And basically, before we jump in, I'm going to give you three little thought exercises. Pause the video, do these exercises, just pull out a piece of paper and make some notes. But the first scenario, I'd like you to imagine what life would be like if you doubled your business as it currently is. And the reason I ask you this is a lot of entrepreneurs think all I need is more clients. But I want you to really think about it and ask yourself, how does it feel to have double the work? How does it feel to have double the clients? How does it feel to have double the revenue? And one question I haven't put is if you doubled your client base, if you doubled your business as is, would it double the profits you keep? And that's a key lesson. If you don't know that for certain, the worst thing you can do is double an existing business if you've got weaknesses and gaps. So take the time and imagine what life would be like for you truly and be honest if you doubled your business as it currently is. And by the way, if you're currently working 12 hours a day, that does mean you're going to have to figure out life where you're working 24 hours a day. Or are you able to hire people? So factor in what it would need for you to happen, what would have to happen for you to double your business. Now, the second little thought experiment we're going to do is imagine what life would be like if you cloned only your top 20% best clients. So think about your favorite clients, the ones who generate the most revenue for you, the ones you like the most. Literally, if you have 100 clients, pick your 20 best. Otherwise, your top 20%. And think about how does it feel if you were to have more of your best clients? If you could eliminate some of your worst clients, how would this impact your business? How would it impact your life? How does it feel to apply the Pareto principle? And the Pareto principle simply states that 20% of your results come from, 80% of your effort comes from 20% of your results. So most businesses, we can prove this, somewhere around 80% of the revenue comes from the top 20% of clients. On the flip side, 80% of your complaints come from your bottom 20% of your clients. So this is applying the Pareto principle. We're just cloning the best clients that you have. Now, the last thing, before we can make any changes, we need to know what is working for you now. And I find this to be a fun little exercise, and it's probably the most revolutionary. People don't always think about where they found their best clients. They think, oh, I got more clients this way, that way. Take the time and think about your favorite 10 clients, your absolute top 10 clients, and ask yourself, how did they find us or how did we find them? And do you want to have more clients like them? Because here's the secret, however you got your best clients, doing more of that and doing it the same way and doing it correctly, you can literally clone them. If you don't know where your best clients came from, I would highly encourage you to figure it out, because that is the secret to success with growth, is knowing how to clone them. Now, I find there are levels of marketing, there are levels of networking, And at the very bottom of this, it's more relational. At the top of the diagram, we have transactional, and it's a scale and a spectrum. At the top of the transactional spectrum, these are networkers. I call them the give me networkers. They're literally coming up to people they've just met saying, will you buy my stuff? If you didn't buy 5 seconds ago, how about now? Very, very transactional, and we'll talk about what that means in a minute. The next, less transactional, moving in the right direction towards relational, are the quid pro quo networkers. And they literally walk up and say, I will buy from you if you buy from me. It's still transaction oriented. Now, for lack of a better word, I have the balanced in the middle. These people tend to approach networking as a sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. Maybe today is my turn, so I'm here. They still think that relationships are subservient to transactions, but they're getting there. Now, on the relational side, as we shift from transactional to relational, we have the collaborative people, and they believe that we both win. Today is a great day to close deals. Let's get it done. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, but it's still not focused on what's possible. And then the last category, which is truly relational, I call this the community building network. And the idea is let's bring your network together with my network, and together we'll make the world a better place. We all win. That is the most fun space to play in if you're networking. It takes a little bit of extra skill to get there, but it is the most fun. Trust me, it is worth exploring. Now, sometimes people don't know how they network. I mentioned in an earlier video that some people think they're great at networking when they're not. I just want to give you some idea of where you might feel and be if you're on this spectrum. So we've got 4 quadrants. Upper left is transactional and low impact networking. So this is very much the one-to-one, always looking for that next deal, the next deal, the next deal. Um, the symptom there is we feel really busy. We have little to show for it, but we're always networking. And this quadrant is deliberately red because the more time we spend here, the lower our money, our impact, our value, and higher the stress we have. So the reality is these people are saying to themselves, I might close a deal today. I don't know with certainty whether it'll happen or not. There are lots of little deals in the works. But when you talk to their managers, the managers say, so what? If I have 100 deals where I'm going to make a penny, I still only have $1. So we want to focus on bigger, better deals. Now, equally damaging is the low impact relational people. I know a lot of these people where they're really focused on the relationship. They have lots of meetings, lots of lunches, lots of coffees. They manage hundreds of shallow relationships. And every day they get up and say, I will build a new relationship today. But truly, if they're being honest, they look in the mirror and say, I honestly don't know which relationships matter. And I don't know where my next deal will come from. And at the end of the day, even when I do close deals, they're still insignificant. So the worst thing you can do as a business owner, but even as an employee who is in sales, is put all of your energy into low impact. Now, high impact, these are bigger, better deals, bigger, more quality clients, more interesting place to be. You can have high impact and be transactional. I've coded that as amber because it's an okay place to be. You're going to make decent money, but you're still going to be working harder than you have to. So the language you'll hear if somebody's transactional and high impact is, I will close this deal at any cost. It's worth it if I have to give discounts, if I have to do other things. But usually you'll find out they say, I have no idea where my next deal will come from. Hopefully I find it. And so they're always busy chasing leads and following up with prospects who don't necessarily intend to buy. Now, the sweet spot, the area I love to see entrepreneurs working in, business owners, organizational leaders, is the high impact relational space, because if you build high impact relationships, your perfect prospects are literally reaching out to you. And in some way, your deals are big enough, they make the world a better place. And the best part is, as a business owner or as an employee, you have 100% certainty that you are doing the right things at the right times for the right people. So you never have uncertainty about where your next deal is coming from or how you're going to pay your bills. So I want to get into the mindset. And I'll be honest, when I first learned networking, I followed the golden rule and it made a big impact on me. And for those of you who haven't heard it, the golden rule is literally the principle of treating others as you want to be treated. Now, I'm going to define spam as irrelevant or inappropriate messages sent on the internet to a large number of recipients. And this is going to be relevant for the golden rule. So, what I would challenge you on the right hand side is to be really honest and ask yourself, do you enjoy receiving cold emails, cold calls, unwanted texts? Do you enjoy being interrupted to get a random message? Do you enjoy receiving a barrage of spam in any way? If you're watching TV or listening to the radio, do you enjoy having your favorite program interrupted by ads? And do you enjoy marketing that is literally just a list of features? And I want you to be honest, because if the answer is no to those, I have to ask, do you think your perfect prospects or clients want to be spammed either? And I say this all the time because people say, oh, I hate cold calling. I hate receiving them. I hate doing it. And yet somehow we accept that that's the only way to start a relationship. So if you don't like spam, why would you do spam? And if your clients and perfect prospects don't like it, even better question, why would you do it? So I'm going to paraphrase John F. Kennedy in his inaugural speech. I'm going to use this as my version. And so, my fellow networkers, ask not what your network can do for you, ask what you can do for your network. And that's a big, big thing because if you give first and you know how to receive, it'll have a huge impact. Now, I came across the Platinum Rule recently, and I apologize, I can't recall the origin. I will find it for future sessions. But basically, the gist of the Platinum Rule is that you would do unto others whenever, wherever possible, as they would want to be done to them. So basically, we're treating others the way they'd want to be treated. And the reality is, you can't do that if you don't know who your perfect prospects are, if you don't know how your perfect prospects like to receive communication, or if you don't know how your perfect prospects make their purchasing decisions or how they think. And most important, we need to know what our perfect prospects care about the most in the world. Because if we don't know that, how can we serve them? How can we follow the Platinum Rule? And before we go on, I want you to take a little time and think, what is it costing you if you don't know the answers to those questions? And I would say it is literally the difference between growing a business by 10% and growing a business by 10 times. Literally, if you understand your perfect prospects better than they understand themselves, you will never want for growth. So, again, I'm going to paraphrase a famous person. This time, I'm going to paraphrase Stephen Covey, the author of Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. He literally has one of the habits is seek first to understand, then to be understood. I'm going to challenge you to seek first to understand your network, then to be understood by your network. So there's a lot of wisdom in the things Stephen Covey teaches. I'm going to ask you to adapt it to your network. Now, before we get into too much of the how, the number one reason I hear that people leave, and there was a study that indicated 68% of all clients leave an organization because they believe the organization does not care about them. I, That is called perceived indifference disease. And so I would challenge you just to think about this for a moment. How do you make sure your best clients feel valued? Now, in the workshop, we're going to brainstorm ways we can make people feel valued, help them understand and appreciate the value, but also how can we add value? Again, I'm going to paraphrase Mahatma Gandhi, and the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service. The original quote is of others. I'm going to say in service of your network. So in the coming sessions, I'm going to go into some detail. I will cover an overview first, and then we'll get into detail. But we're going to talk about 3 growth strategies that actually work. And when I say these work, what I love is they're low cost, low effort, high result. So referrals is my number one growth strategy. And I sincerely believe the fastest way to add your best clients in bulk is through referrals. So that's where you can literally clone your best clients. The second strategy that we use a lot and I really love is workshops. And the secret is your current best client already knows your next best client. So you're leveraging the power of workshops, and workshops allow you to serve your key strategic partners, which is growth strategy number 3. And this is about advanced relationship strategies for growth. And before you get too worried about how much effort and how much work is this all going to take, the reality is if you have a handful of key strategic partners that serve your same target audience and care deeply about their clients, you can probably do 1 or 2 workshops over the next month or 2. It'll cost you a couple hours of your life. It'll generate more activity for you than you can get in months of paid advertising. Not to put too much pressure on you, but I know one professional service firm, they did 3 workshops, grand total of 10 hours of time commitment over 3 months. And in a year, they doubled their business. They added an extra 900,000 of new clients just from those 3 workshops. So I'm going to teach you the strategies we do to get those workshops up and off the ground. And spoiler alert, if you use all 3 of these together, it is a winning combination that can't be beat.